it is hard. And I think what we have found is that in theory, you can tell yourself, I want to love my spouse as he deserves to be loved. But what happens is stuff gets in the way. You look at these things, you notice these things, you discover these patterns, and then you make a choice to proactively work on your marriage. All of the other stuff seems easier. It's easier to be open with your husband, to be vulnerable with your husband when you kind of get some of the other noise out of your marriage.
To me, it's a matter of trust and safety. If we get to a point where I feel that what I say is respected by her, and that I'm not attacked by an idea that may be contrary to something that she thinks about, we make progress. We really do. It's treating each other with respect and dignity and acceptance when people are honest with you.
God has a different idea of how he wants to grow your marriage. Every time you sit down, every time you discuss, a topic, and it could be about communication or conflict resolution, and he takes you where you're at, and he helps lead you to another level, and I think that's a pretty cool part about it.
The way the format's set out is that you answer questions on your own, and then you discuss with your wife, and then you come to the group ready to discuss. And the cool thing about that is it lets you and your spouse talk about what you're willing to share with the group and what you're not.
Yeah, we've had couples from, they've been married 2 years up to almost 50 years. So that was pretty cool to learn from newlyweds and more experienced, marriages. And what Ryan didn't tell you is he really enjoys the fact that it's like 2.5 pages. Who doesn't have time to read 2.5 pages in a week and discuss it? And the discussion takes a little longer, but it's pretty awesome. And then we'll just, find a time to get together and discuss it. And so it's pretty easy,
Things that you wouldn't normally bring up for lack of timing, or is this the right time? Is he going to be receptive? And so it's a set aside time where it's an assignment and accountability, and so it makes it a free time where you can just focus on each other. That's what I loved about it the most. Put the rest of the world aside, and this is our time. And I knew I was going to have his attention, and he was going to listen to me. And so we were able to delve into things that we had skirted around and for years. And especially with us, it's been years.
It's allowed us to communicate so much more effectively and honestly with one another. This study has given me the tools, and it's really are tools that I can tell Melissa, I really do want to talk about this, and but can I come back and we can talk about it at a certain time, at a certain place, and then actually do that. And it gives Melissa what she needs with closure, and it gives me time to decompress and think about the words that I say, that it would just be better.
It's not about working on your spouse, it's about working on me. And we really have to choose to love our spouse to the example that Christ gave us. Now I cannot love Ken like Christ loves me, but through Christ's help, I think I grow every day to try to be a better spouse and to try to be a better wife to Ken.
You go in and your spouse is like your ally. They're the one person there that just 100% knows everything about you, what you're thinking, how you're feeling.
And you learn more about about your spouse.
And
Don't
about
do-
yourself, really.
And about really what God's purpose for marriage is. And
I feel it's just giving us the freedom to discuss things with each other, whereas the first 30 some odd years or more, we skirted a lot of issues. And this is giving us the freedom to discuss things, and also it's the fact that you're trying to live the same love to your spouse as Christ loved us. So it's gives you a different way of looking at it. So.
We appreciated that different way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we both went in a little apprehensive and nervous, especially to that first class. And then we saw that it was just a good group of people wanting to work together on their marriages, and it made us feel a lot more comfortable. And we worked together as a couple, but also as a group, and we felt free to discuss what was going on that week, and especially to celebrate the moments that had been better that week just because of what we had learned in that lesson. And so our celebrations together really were as important to us as anything else that we
God really wants us to grow in oneness, and what that means is He wants us to grow as a couple, to learn how to worship Him in a different way, in a deeper way. You know, it's not perfect, and there are definitely times when we slip back into old patterns. We really do, I think, have found through this study, we've just learned how to get back on track quicker, and we've learned how to really appreciate each other in a deeper way, and to really try to grow in oneness through prayer and through just learning to just be a little bit more like Christ. But we're never going to get there, and that's why God is so important in our marriage.
ReEngage is something that we do together. I think that a lot of times for me personally, I try to do most things to make myself better as a Christian and as a person on my own. You know, we've been part of Sunday schools, small groups, and other lessons, and this is the only small group that actually we do together with a marriage-focused lesson, and it's really important to me. So.
I know the first year I learned to say, okay, I need a minute. You know, instead of just getting upset, I would just like, okay, we need to stop this conversation. We'll come back to it later. And it just, you know, gives you tools and tactics of how to communicate and, you know, work on your weaknesses or whatever, and how to turn them into strengths and how to handle it appropriately. So I feel like the kids, you know, love knowing that we're intentionally spending time together to support our marriage and our family. And, you know, we've been doing this 2 years in a row. We've done it, and you know, every Sunday evening, them seeing us go into a marriage class just to continue to make our marriage the best it can possibly be. You know, I think that's comforting for them to know that it's so important to us, and our faith and our Christianity, and just our love for each other is such an important thing in our lives. And so, you know, I love that they get to see that, and it's pretty cool.
If you decide to take the class, realize that you're not coming in to fix your spouse. You're coming in to see your different way of looking at it, the way Christ would look at it. The way Christ looks at you is the same way you should be looking at your spouse. And so just, if you decide to take it, come in with that open mind.
Yeah, I didn't kick you
No,
very often.
I didn't get
during
kicked
the
as often
class.
as she normally does. So.
I feel like John and Kate plus 8. It's a diary room on Big Brother.
Oh my God.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Thanks for sharing.
You did a great job.